I'm Mary Rondenet, the owner of Blooming Rose Healing and the founder of WhaleBreathing. I'm actually wanting to celebrate this month by bringing videos every Wednesday free of educating about whale breathing. One of the things that has been asked of me, well, for today, and it's only a 30-minute of 10-minute discuss, 20 minutes of breathing. And today I'm going to talk about how it became whale breathing and how that whale breathing helps support mental health. Because in the month of May, we are honoring mental health, which is in a very big crisis. And I feel this calling to help people come back to harmony, to center, to calm, to peace through the stress that we're all living in. So whales have this capacity of being underwater for a long time. Each whale has a different length. The ones that I've spent the most time with, because I have swam with whales, I've gone on many retreats and also brought people on retreats all over the world with many different whales. The ones I've probably seen the most are the gray and the humpback. I've also spent time with blues and sperm. Not seeing a sperm, but hearing. And also the belugas. So whales have this beautiful way of resting through the ocean. They go down deep and they lie on the bottom of the ocean or even float. And in that time, they take a beautiful exhale and go down into the beautiful ocean and rest. But that's very conscious resting because of where they are, predators. Also, to remind them that they need to go back up to breathe. This picture behind me is actually a female humpback helping its baby go for the breath, the first breath. This is not the first breath. But sometimes the babies need a little support because they get caught up in play just like our children and forget that there's also the breath. So whale breathing became what it is through conscious breathing and what that really means for our body. So today, when we're breathing, we go through these episodes of pretty shallow breathing, which is kind of trying to catch the breath. Or very fast-paced, or not very much of a breath at all. And what unfortunately happens is there's a disconnect in this spot, which is our diaphragm. And our diaphragm actually, when we're breathing and conscious and using it, moves very beautifully. I did that wrong. And what happens is the diaphragm brings in oxygen and releases the metabolic waste. Metabolic waste comes from many different levels. Pollution, stress, imbalance, hormonal changes. You know, there's a lot of things that go on in the world of our body taking in toxin. And even through social media, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff coming in. And what happens is as we're breathing, because we're focusing so much on mental health, as we're breathing, and we get connected also to a universal rhythm of breath, the nervous system calms down. And it helps create a more peaceful breath. But the diaphragm needs to be engaged. And surprisingly, even in many of my classes, I've taught all over the world. I've taught, up to 300 people breathing. And even with us being conscious, we are sometimes programmed, well, we always are, through our emotional stress. And then the body changes because there's always the resistance that we have to work with. So the breath then changes and goes back to the breath that you do in the world. So what today is going to be about is just understanding why it's important to maybe have somebody help teach you how to breathe, to help you reprogram the body, to help understand what I need to do to move it all the way. Because the body has a beautiful rhythm. And it knows the rhythm. But you know what gets in the way? Our brain. Our thinking. Because what happens is there's a moment of fear. I don't want to go down there. Oh my goodness, because we start to feel uncomfortable. We might even start to feel feelings because in the base of our belly, we carry a lot of our emotional life. It could be trauma, it could be wonder. There's just a lot of life here. And to bring that, when we're working with this, breathing, we're creating a blood flow to come back into this space. Because remember, I said, we have a high percentage of shallow breathers. High percentage, all of us. Even me, I get into it because I go back to what feels safe. I have to consciously always remind myself, meet the diaphragm, breathe, and be very conscious of it, especially when I'm going through some hard stuff or emotional stuff. But what's interesting is this part of our body is also the part of our body that carries probably most of the trauma. Also up here, but for people that understand the energy work or the energy system, we have chakras, which are, we can't see them, but there are energy kind of, they almost look like vortexes, and they live within this body. And on the physical body, there's 7. And 1, 2, and 3 live in that lower belly part, which is the root, about the essence of belief, community, how I was created, who I am, which steps into chakra 2, which is in this area. And that is how I relate that to the world. And number 3, the doing. Am I doing it from my will versus thy will? How am I really surrendering to living life on life term, on a universal term? Very interesting. So back to the breathing. That's just a little nutshell of why it's so important to get that breath more down here. So today we're just going to focus on the rhythm of the breath and allowing us to really connect to it. And like I said, my breath work is called sorry, I had to turn, whale breathing. So I love to use the sounds of whales to help get us more into that watery quality. Even though I'm going to also talk about anchoring into the pelvic, when we also will do sound, because the sound helps the vagus nerve. And that's the largest nerve within the body. And it's almost like a hand, and it goes down and it comes from that vagus nerve is attached up into the brain. And I want to just say one thing before we start. I heard something that really, really made me think. So we got a lot of stuff starting to rise. One of them is Alzheimer's and dementia. And I heard that, the brain needs to rest. And we have when you talk about mental health, the brain needs to rest, but we're all kind of in this busy, fast-paced cycle, and then it gets us out of balance, and it makes the brain feel almost manic. And what happens is when the brain gets overloaded, it creates a dis-ease. And that brain also, by not having a full embodied breathing, the brain lacks oxygen. When we are doing diaphragmatic breathing and working with the movement of that diaphragm, everything starts to feel the energy of oxygen. Because when you're using your breath pump, which is a diaphragm, which is our diaphragm, and bringing in oxygen, you're starting to create more oxygen, releasing the metabolic waste, which is carbon dioxide, one of them. Because if we aren't breathing correctly, that raises and that affects the brain. We start to feel chaotic. We start to feel unfocused. We start to feel ungrounded. We start to feel hopelessness. This breath is so important for just that. So I want you to just get comfortable. You don't have to, just listen to me. Surrender to me. I'm sorry, I'm just turning on this. Because I like to have this beautiful sound in the background. So just close your eyes and connect to the beautiful energy of your breath. Notice how it feels to breathe from this space. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And let yourself notice the beautiful energies coming. It takes a few breaths to quiet the mind and drop into the body. That it is safe to let go and be with the breath. To feel this beautiful energy. And one of the things, like I said, is the reminder of 1, 2, and 3. Chakra 1, 2, and 3 are in that lower base. The brain or the ego part of you is going to try and resist that. But just keep breathing through it and trusting. Just let your breath be the power source, the grace. Meeting your diaphragm and even maybe connecting to the visual effect. I'm going to give you guys a different metaphor, a balloon. And as you inhale, the balloon expands in the center. And as you exhale, that balloon contracts. So just connect to that movement within, so that balloon is affecting your respiratory and digestive. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And that it is safe to be connected to my breath, to feel the nervous system quieting down, to give me the permission to ground into my beautiful body. To just notice what I notice. And as you ground in and exhale, you meet gravity. And notice the challenge of letting that brain quiet down. Just let yourself notice it. Don't judge it. Don't just let the mental part of you quiet down. And drop into the gravity, into the Mother Earth energy. Breathing, connecting. And as we connect, we're going to meet the beautiful sound of that E. So really let the E come from that pelvic floor to help vibrate the vagus nerve, to help let that vagus nerve quiet the whole nervous system and bring harmony back into my body and let the brain rest. So here we go. And now go back to the center where I told you guys to breathe that diaphragm in the center space. Breathing in, breathing out. Connecting. And it's safe for my brain to rest and let go and have a moment of quiet, of breath. And just notice, even if your brain is chattering, just notice the little voices and messages and just let the breath quiet it down. Because another reminder, energy in motion is emotion. Sometimes we're going to feel a little more because we're dropping into the body. And it is safe to feel my feelings, to move those energies. And if it's too much, just breathe and maybe tone. Or even deeper, reach out to a person to help. You can even reach out to me, but just breathing in and letting your body quiet, support the brain resting. Breathing in, breathing out. And as we exhale, to just let yourself drop deeper and deeper into the energy of gravity. Like those whales lying deep on the ocean floor in a beautiful resting mode. Just breathing into it, that it is okay to have a moment to be still and just breathe and be. And reboot my beautiful body, my mind, my soul, my spirit. And again, now we meet the beautiful sound of E, just to help activate that lower body a little more, to really feel grounded with the energy of Mother Earth, of gravity. So here we go. Connecting to that sound in the pelvic floor. And now go back into the center where the diaphragm is. Breathing in, breathing out, really connecting to the energy of the movement of your diaphragm. There's no right or wrong, but just know that that is your breath pump. And as we go into the next part, which is the heart space, we're grounded in our pelvic, and now we meet our beautiful heart. The waters, the fluids of the body. We meet gravity, now we meet levity. That we are 78% water. To just notice that. And how it moves in my body as I breathe. Connecting, allowing, trusting the flow of life, and letting the mind rest. To let your mental health have a moment, a quiet, and bringing in more oxygen to reboot that beautiful brain. Reboot the beautiful heart, the lung, the respiratory, the digestive, the liver, the kidneys, all these beautiful organs that just need some tender, loving care as you breathe. As you're letting that diaphragm move, you're creating a beautiful contraction and expansion within the body to bring in oxygen and release the metabolic waste. Just feel that letting go as you breathe, dropping deeper and deeper into the gravity, yet meeting the flow of water. And together, we're going to move into this beautiful heart sound, the sound of ah, and letting you also activate that vagus nerve to help get the body in harmony. And even notice after you do the sound how your body feels, that it is safe for me to have a voice in the world to sing my heart song. So here we go. And now go back to the diaphragmatic connective breath. Breathing in, breathing out to really meet your diaphragm, how it moves, how it connects to your body, how it supports the whole bodily system. And now we're going to integrate all this beautiful energy of rest through the sound of O. And allowing yourself to just notice how the body feels through the breath, and how the brain feels, because our nervous system comes from our brain. And if we're in complete chaos and not resting and allowing ourselves to be and just breathe, our body will send a message of disconnect, of disruption, of disease. So just take some time in your life to breathe and feel the beautiful energy of your breath. It's yours. No one can take it away. The sound of O. And now I want you guys to all connect to the beautiful sounds that we just did. All three sounds of E-I-O. And just let yourself notice your beautiful difference in the energy of your body from just 20 minutes of breathing. I hope to see you at some of my classes, or even individuals. I do long distance. But this is just an opportunity also for people to really understand the importance of correct voluntary breathing. I passionately thank the whales for showing me about my breath, about my song, about my voice. And I hope to see you guys next week when we take it even a little deeper. Have a wonderful day. And just take a moment to just breathe. But remember, like this, with your diaphragm. And thank you for stopping by.